Just one Dracaena fragrance placed in the wrong spot can quietly shift the flow of wealth energy in the entire house without the homeowner even realizing it. In many homes, the Dracaena fragrance still stands there green, lush, and quiet, yet prosperity refuses to stay. Money comes and goes. Life is not lacking, but it is far from abundant, like some invisible current silently sweeping away what should have been kept. Few people suspect that the issue does not lie in the plant itself, but in the connection between the plant and the surrounding space. When that connection is misaligned, the energy flow in the house changes direction, leaving behind a sense of financial instability that is hard to describe, yet always felt by the homeowner. So, in today's video, let us take a deeper look into where you should place your Dracaena fragrance at home, so that the flow of prosperity energy is properly directed, blessings have a place to settle, and abundance can stay for the long run. But before we begin, go ahead and drop a positive affirmation in the comments below. This is a simple way to open the flow of good energy for you and your family, starting today. Type, "I am ready to welcome a peaceful and lasting flow of wealth into my home." And do not forget to subscribe to Master Zhen, Feng Shui Secrets for Wealth, so you never miss out on timeless Feng Shui wisdom that can help your family preserve blessings, maintain prosperity, and pass abundance down through generations. Now, first, let us explore the meaning of the Dracaena fragrance in Feng Shui to understand how its silent yet powerful presence can influence your family's wealth, peace, and fortune. The Dracaena fragrance is a symbol of steady and lasting life energy. Its trunk grows upright and strong. It does not twist, bend, or creep along the ground, which represents a stable kind of energy. This is exactly the kind of energy you need to retain wealth and blessings over time. The leaves grow upward in an open, balanced way, not spreading heavily. This shows controlled, steady growth, neither explosive nor fading quickly. Because of these traits, the Dracaena fragrance is often associated with accumulated wealth, as opposed to plants that carry the come fast, go fast energy. In many households, even when income does not suddenly increase, a stable flow of energy inside the home, combined with orderly spending and a peaceful mindset, becomes the true foundation for lasting prosperity. From the perspective of the 5 elements, the Dracaena fragrance belongs to the wood element. But this is not immature, weak wood, it is mature wood. This distinction is crucial in Feng Shui because mature wood represents nurturing, sheltering, and sustaining, rather than fighting or draining. When placed in a living space, the energy of this plant does not create pressure, nor does it disrupt the energy flow. Instead, it tends to harmonize the rhythm of life inside the home. One special feature of the Dracaena fragrance is that it retains energy. It does not draw energy in. In modern Feng Shui, holding energy is even more important than attracting it, because most financial loss does not come from lack of opportunity, but from not being able to keep what you already have. Its thick, layered leaves slow down the movement of energy as it passes through the area, helping to prevent it from rushing in and then escaping too quickly. That is why, in many homes, when the Dracaena fragrance is placed in the right spot, the homeowner often notices a very subtle shift. The feeling of money coming in and vanishing begins to fade. Spending becomes more intentional and less impulsive. This is a sign that the energy is being anchored, not some mysterious magic. Once you understand the true Feng Shui meaning of the Dracaena fragrance, the next important step is knowing where to place the plant correctly. This ensures that good energy is directed the right way, prosperity has a space to settle, and blessings do not get scattered throughout your home. First position, to the right of the main entrance. The first, and one of the most important spots, is to the right of the front door, when looking from inside the house outwards. This is the transitional area between the outdoor environment and the living space inside. It is where all types of energy, whether good or bad, must pass through before entering the home. In applied Feng Shui, this is known as the energy reception point, which helps set the initial rhythm of the entire house. When you place a Dracaena fragrance here, it is not just a decorative element. Instead, it acts as a guide for how energy enters the home, slowing it down, organizing it, and protecting it from being disrupted by external influences such as noise, traffic, or foot traffic. The greatest benefit of placing the plant here is not only the symbolic idea of welcoming wealth, but also the calming effect it has on the household's daily rhythm and the psychological state of those who live there. When someone walks through the door and sees a neat, healthy plant, they naturally slow down, release tension, and shift mentally from the outside world to the comfort of home. This transition directly impacts how we make decisions, especially those related to spending and managing money. An orderly entryway helps homeowners avoid impulsive actions and limits unnecessary emotional spending. This is a behavioral and psychological effect, practical and grounded, not based on superstition or speculation. Also, if you place your plant in this spot, its leaves should be regularly wiped clean. Dust buildup can make the entrance feel heavy and lacking in vitality. Water it moderately, and instead of sticking to a fixed schedule, observe the soil moisture to avoid underwatering or overwatering. If your entrance lacks natural light, rotate the pot or move the plant to a lightly sunlit area occasionally to maintain its health. A well-cared-for plant at the front door not only stays healthy, but also helps keep the space tidy and organized foundations that help your home operate smoothly and steadily over time. Second position, the wealth corner in the living room. The second spot is the wealth corner of your living room, which is typically the diagonal corner from the entrance when you step into the room. This area tends to naturally gather energy because there is less foot traffic, and it is not directly interrupted by people moving around. When placing a Dracaena fragrans here, the plant should stand alone, not hidden behind sofas, shelves, or tall furniture. The purpose is not to draw attention, but to create a stable anchor point for energy in the shared living space. When placed in the wealth corner, the Dracaena fragrans supports financial accumulation and management. It is not about sudden increases in wealth. The living room is where families host guests, have conversations, make decisions, and share important information. A steady energy point here helps financial discussions and plans take place more clearly and calmly, with less emotional influence. Many families notice that money starts being used with more intention, and long-term financial plans become easier to maintain. This is the result of a well-organized space that supports clear thinking and consistent behavior. In the living room, the plant should be cared for in a balanced way, not neglected, but not over-cared for either. Place it where there is diffused light, not in harsh sunlight near a window, and not in a dark corner. Water moderately, and keep the soil loose so the roots can breathe. Most importantly, keep the area around the plant tidy. Avoid cluttering it with too many decorations. A clean, healthy Dracaena fragrans in a well-kept wealth corner helps the entire living room feel more stable and reliable. Third position, end of a hallway. The third location is the end of a hallway inside your home. Hallways are often overlooked, seen only as passageways, but in reality, they are channels where energy flows continuously in one direction. Without a proper stopping point, this flow of energy tends to rush straight out or scatter after hitting a wall. Placing a Dracaena fragrans at the end of a hallway helps slow and stabilize the fast-moving energy. This directly affects how your home feels less rushed, more comfortable, and with a better sense of rhythm. Financially, many families notice that once the hallway has a clear endpoint, impulse spending decreases and money is no longer leaking out due to rushed decisions. This is a very practical connection between space and behavior. When the flow of movement is under control, people also tend to make more thoughtful choices. Since hallways are often narrow and have limited natural light, the plant here needs extra care. Choose a medium-sized pot that does not block the walkway or make the hallway feel cramped. Only water when the soil starts to dry out to avoid root rot and unpleasant smells. When the plant is kept neat, healthy, and clean, the end of the hallway becomes a gentle, grounding finish point that helps the entire home maintain a steady and calming flow of energy over time. Fourth position, the balcony. The fourth spot is the balcony, an open space that sits between the interior of the home and the outside environment. The balcony receives wind, sunlight, and outside energy before it flows into the living areas. When placing your Dracaena fragrans on the balcony, position it along the wall or in a corner, not blocking the entrance or view. A plant here helps soften and balance the energy before it enters your home. Since balconies are exposed to direct sun, wind, and changing temperatures, the energy there can be quite unstable. A sturdy plant, like the Dracaena fragrans, with a strong trunk and thick leaves, helps tone down harsh incoming energy, making it easier for the indoor space to remain comfortable. For many families, this leads to a more relaxed home atmosphere, which indirectly supports better financial management and emotional well-being. Because balconies are exposed to the weather, care should be adjusted to suit this open environment. Do not place the plant where direct sunlight hits it for hours, or where strong winds can cause it to tilt. Check the soil often and adjust watering to avoid overly dry or soggy conditions, especially after rain. The pot should have proper drainage holes to prevent root rot. When the plant is well placed and well cared for, the balcony becomes a peaceful transitional space that helps your home stay balanced and pleasant in the long run. Fifth position, base of the staircase. The Dracaena fragrans should be placed near the base of the staircase, right where the stairs begin, close to the wall or in a fixed corner. Do not place it in the middle of the walkway. The base of the stairs is where movement in the house starts to speed up, either going up or down. Without proper arrangement, this area can feel rushed and unstable. A tall, straight plant with a firm trunk and compact leaves helps create a visual pause and makes the space feel less empty and more balanced. This is especially helpful in multi-story homes with frequent movement. The plant here does not just attract or boost wealth, it also helps maintain order and balance in the space. When the base of the stairs is tidy and includes a stable green point, families tend to feel less scattered and experience fewer unnecessary tensions. This stability supports more thoughtful life decisions, including how money is spent or managed. Since this area sees regular foot traffic, care for the plant should prioritize safety and neatness. Trim the leaves so they do not grow long enough to cover the steps or block the view. Water moderately and avoid spills that could make the floor slippery. When the plant is kept clean, upright, and healthy, the base of the stairs becomes a clear transition point that helps the whole house feel more organized and safe. Sixth position, home office or children's study area. In a shared home office or your children's study area, the Dracaena fragrans should be placed in a corner, against the wall, or beside a bookshelf, anywhere that is open and stable enough for the plant to grow naturally. This setup allows the plant to exist in harmony with the space. It does not take up too much room, get in the way, or disrupt the tidy atmosphere needed for work or study. When placed correctly in a workspace or study room, the plant contributes to a calm and steady environment, helping people focus more easily. Its green presence brings a gentle feeling that helps reduce stress during long periods of concentration. For children, having a healthy plant in the corner of their room encourages regular study habits, promotes patience, and eases feelings of restlessness. For adults, a stable and orderly space supports clear thinking, helps maintain plans, and improves work consistency. These benefits stem from how our environment affects our mindset and actions, not from superstition. Care for the plant should focus on keeping it balanced in growth. If it leans toward one side, rotate the pot regularly to ensure the trunk grows straight and the leaves spread evenly. In closed spaces, check regularly to make sure the plant is getting enough light and air, and adjust its position if needed. Do not let the plant grow too tall or dense, as this can make the room feel heavy and reduce comfort. When the plant is kept compact, balanced, and sized appropriately for the room, it will help the workspace or study area feel bright, pleasant, and stable. Once you have a clear understanding of where to place the Dracaena fragrans in your home, there are still a few small but very important notes you should keep in mind when caring for the plant. First, never water the plant with salty water. Dracaena fragrans has a very sensitive root system. It grows best in clean, stable soil that is free from salinity. If you water it with salty water, even lightly salted water, or water that accidentally contains salt from daily activities, the salt will quickly build up in the soil. Unlike regular water, salt does not evaporate. It sticks to the soil, alters its structure, and disrupts the delicate balance that the roots rely on. When this happens, the roots lose their ability to absorb water and nutrients properly, causing the plant to experience long-term dehydration even when the soil still feels moist. This often confuses people, leading them to water the plant even more, which actually makes the condition worse. Over time, signs of damage from salty water will begin to show. The leaves turn yellow from the edges inward, the trunk softens, growth slows down, and new leaves stop appearing. These are not temporary symptoms. They are the result of root damage, the very part of the plant that determines its overall vitality. Once the roots have been affected by salt, it becomes extremely difficult for the plant to recover, even with changes in care. A weakened Dracaena fragrans often makes the area around it feel dull and lacking in freshness. This is especially noticeable when the plant is placed in common areas such as the living room, hallway, or entryway. The heavy atmosphere can subtly affect the mood and comfort of everyone in the household. If salty water has already been used, stop immediately and act quickly by replacing the soil or flushing the soil to reduce salt buildup. Then, allow the plant to recover naturally in a stable environment. As the plant slowly regains its health, the living space will also begin to feel more pleasant, helping your home return to a state of harmony and peace. Second, do not fertilize the plant when it is wilted. When a Dracaena fragrans shows signs of weakness, wilting, slow growth, or discolored leaves, many people assume it is lacking nutrients and rush to apply fertilizer. However, with this plant, doing so at the wrong time can backfire. In most cases, a weakened plant is not lacking nutrients, but rather suffering from problems in the root system. This could be due to compacted soil, root damage, an unsuitable environment, or prolonged stress. When the roots are compromised, their ability to absorb nutrients is nearly gone. Fertilizing at this stage only puts more pressure on the roots, overwhelming them and making it harder for the plant to adapt. The effects of fertilizing a weak Dracaena fragrans do not appear immediately. Instead, the damage builds slowly over time. The plant continues to struggle, and the overall feeling in the household may shift, becoming less relaxed, more anxious, and less steady. The proper approach in this situation is not to add anything more, but rather to reduce all interference. Stop fertilizing, keep the environment steady, and give the plant time to rebalance its root system on its own. Only when the plant shows clear signs of recovery, such as new leaves growing evenly and the trunk becoming firm again, should you consider applying a very light amount of fertilizer and only at wide intervals. Understanding and respecting the plant's natural healing process not only helps it grow stronger in the long run, but also keeps your living space from being weighed down by a weakened plant that lingers in poor condition. Third, do not put used tea leaves or coffee grounds in the pot. Many households try to reuse tea leaves or coffee grounds by dumping them into plant pots, thinking it is both economical and good for the plant. But with Dracaena fragrans, this habit can turn the pot into a source of lingering odors and unwanted moisture. Tea and coffee grounds hold onto their scent for a long time, especially in enclosed spaces, making the area around the plant feel damp and less clean, even if it looks neat on the outside. This is something people often overlook, but it directly affects how the space feels during daily life. This is especially true in shared living areas. When a plant is misused like this, it gradually loses its role in maintaining tidiness and order. Once one corner of the house is no longer properly cared for, family members may begin to neglect it, leading to an overall decline in cleanliness and organization. So, avoiding tea or coffee waste in your Dracaena fragrance is not a minor issue. It is how you preserve the plant's purpose, keep your spaces functional, and maintain a clear, orderly home environment. In the end, what truly matters is keeping what you already have running properly. When a plant is placed correctly, cared for just enough, and not mishandled, your living space naturally becomes more organized, more pleasant, and gives you a deeper sense of peace. These changes do not come with big fanfare. They happen gradually, quietly, but they are enough for you to feel the difference in your daily life. Before you go, drop a positive comment below as a way to reactivate your own flow of prosperity, starting right now. You can write, "My home always holds peace and stability." And do not forget to subscribe to Master Zhen, Feng Shui Secrets for Wealth, to receive more timeless Feng Shui wisdom that will keep your home in balance and full of abundance.